Hey, Allison here. Whether you're a novice or you've been writing songs for years, it can be hard coming up with an idea to begin. So here are some of my best tips to start songwriting and to become a great songwriter. I personally find it easiest to write songs when it feels like the best time. You don't want to just sit down and pull out your instrument and begin writing because you feel like you have to. You want to do it because you want to, because you feel an emotion because of your real-life scenarios, or maybe you got inspiration from somewhere else. For example, sometimes I write songs based on a dream I had, or maybe I base it on a TV show or a movie or a song I listened to that I really like. And if those things brought emotions in me, then I'll want to write a song about it. So I'll use that inspiration that I got, maybe inspiration of a technique used in music or a certain theme that I saw in a movie, and I'll take that and I'll make that song my own. So when you're doing this, you're going to need to start with either lyrics or music. So let's start by explaining the ways you can start with lyrics. The first way you can start with lyrics is by taking a song title and working off from that. So maybe you come up with an idea called The Sky or something. And so you start with the sky. You look outside, you see the sky, you start observing its colors and the clouds and maybe the birds flying through it, trees that paint the skyline. So take whatever you want to write about, pick an item, pick a theme, and think of all the things you can think about, and those will become the lyrics to your song. The next way is to start with a phrase or metaphor that catches your attention and is unique but comprehensible. So maybe you think about how the ocean is never ending, and like the ocean is never ending, maybe your certain emotion that you feel right now is never ending. Like maybe you're feeling sad and it feels like it can go on forever and it moves like the waves. So you want to think about something specific and take it and make it a metaphor and apply it to your songs. The next thing you want to do is be open to inspiration in your daily life. So for example, if a friend says a sentence that seems poetic, you want to be able to take that in and continue expanding on it when you get home and start writing, or maybe you even want to start writing right there immediately as soon as you hear a sentence or phrase that really strikes you. So maybe it's a certain wording of the way they say something or the way they describe something that's happening in your life. You just want to be open to taking in that inspiration wherever you go, especially if someone says something or you're watching something and you hear something phrased a certain way that you really like. Take inspiration from that and use it to build your own song. The next way to start writing is to hum the way you feel on a daily basis. So you're going to want to be walking around your house, humming a melody, maybe singing some words, and this will open you up to being conscious of the way you feel constantly and wanting to put that to music. That way, every time you're feeling something, you will immediately start applying the words and maybe even a melody when you're singing in the shower or you're just about to go to sleep and you're thinking about your current emotions of that day, and you're going to want to put it to words and music, and that'll help you get ready to be writing songs all the time. So those are some ways to start writing the lyrics. After you've started writing your lyrics, however you deem fit, whatever inspiration strikes you, you're going to want to apply music to the lyrics that you've just written. So the next tips are how to start writing a song by beginning with music. But these tips will also work if you want to add music to your existing songs. When you're starting with music, you're going to want to play an instrument. So now that you've got your instrument, and if you don't play an instrument, don't worry about it. In the future, I'll have plenty of videos that will explain the easiest ways to play instruments that'll match your songwriting style. Pick up an instrument and begin playing chords and melodies. So just start plucking out a chord, and then pick another chord in the same key, and just be playing around with that. And then maybe you go and just start trying to come up with melodies or certain instrumental patterns that will happen in the background of your song, and start recording them and see how they fit together. So take out your notebook, write down every little piece you have, and start trying to fit them together, and then you can work lyrics over top of that. The next thing you can do is to pick a key and write in it. For example, if you want to write in F major, maybe start with an F major chord, and then go to a D minor, Just pick chords that feel right to you in the song and match the emotions that you have. It's great to take a chord and to just play it and make it your melody. So if you're playing an F major chord, just play random things that might make a melody, and whatever sounds right, whatever sticks, keep that and then build your lyrics around that. When you're playing around with your chords and keys, what's really helpful is to have a capo, especially if you play guitar or ukulele. I tend to write my songs on piano, guitar, or ukulele, but when you're writing on those two instruments or anything really that has frets, capo is extremely helpful to write even if you're good at bar chords, because the thing about a capo is you can just clip it onto anywhere, any fret at all, and then just play whatever chords, and that'll help you get an idea for what you want your song to sound like. And you can just be playing simple chords, and then you'll get sort of an idea of what key you want. Another thing that's important is when you have lyrics written down and you don't know how to apply music, just be singing your lyrics and then moving your capo around, for example, and think about, does that sound like my lyrics? Does that sound like what I'm trying to say in my lyrics? Or no? You want to be very careful to make sure those two items complement each other and that you are able to create a cohesive song that makes sense musically and lyrically. The next thing I like to do is to listen to a song that matches the way that I currently feel. For example, if there's a great sad song that I really enjoy and I think perfectly describes the way I feel, I'll listen to it and I'll take inspiration for that. Maybe it's a certain lyrical technique or vocal style or instrumental type or genre. I will take that and I'll use that for inspiration. But you gotta be careful, especially if you're borrowing or sampling a melody. You really don't want to completely copy it. You want to have your own thing. So when I first started writing, I would often get inspiration from songs just like this. But then when I try to write them out, they sounded almost exactly like the song. It would be the song that I got the inspiration from with my own lyrics, but the music was completely not my own. So you want to be really careful not to take someone else's music and to just get inspiration and to take a certain little piece of it and try to make that your own into your own song, and take what you like from the song and make it into what you like about your own song. Okay, now you've written a song from scratch. You either have the lyrics or the music, or you're working on putting them together. Now that you've done that, you're going to want to record it. So things that I like to do is I like to take my phone and I like to go to the Notes app and just tape out my lyrics, and oftentimes I'll put the chords, and then I'll usually have whatever date I wrote the song on so that I know. It's like a little diary. So I write out my lyrics and I write out my chords in my phone. But other ways you can do it is you can have a songwriting notebook. This one was a gift. It says Music by a Creative Genius, and this has ledger lines so that you can write out melodies and maybe even chords across the top, and then also regular notebook paper so you can write the lyrics to the song beside it. I think stuff like this is extremely handy. I also have a spiral bound notebook where you can write out, this has ledger lines so you can write out the clef, the keys, notes, a title of a song, and this is lots of pages. Another thing you can do is you can write the lyrics in just a regular notebook. Again, I like to use my phone because I always have it on me. Another way is to take just a random piece of paper and to write tabs and stuff and whatever you have on it. Blank pieces of paper work great for writing out guitar tabs, other stuff like that. So those are some basic tips to become a great songwriter. I'll be sure to elaborate in some of my future videos. So, stay tuned.